bom, ba bom, ba bom, bom, ba ba bom, ba ba bom, fa dang a dang dang, fa ding a dong ding, blue moon, 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 blue moon, dip 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 dip, moon, 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 blue moon, dip 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 dip, moon, 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 blue moon, dip 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 dip, bom, ba bom, ba bom, ba bom, bom, ba ba bom, ba ba bom, fa dang a dang dang, fa ding a dong ding, blue moon.
All right, well, we are ready for the second installment of our Chapter 7 study of angles, measure of angles, comparison of angles, things of that nature. And today we're going to look at complementary and supplementary angles. Let's go ahead and buckle our seatbelts and take off. Here we go. So, complementary angles and supplementary angles, they are very, very similar to each other. They have one minor difference, but otherwise they're almost identical. And so, by definition, two angles are considered to be complementary angles when the sum of their measures is equal to 90 degrees. So if I have any two angles, they don't have to be touching, but they can be. But if I have two angles that, when you add them together, you get exactly 90 degrees, they are considered to be complementary angles. As you can see in the examples here, we have two different examples. 30 plus 60 equals 90, therefore they are complementary. In the other example, we have angle 1 and angle 2. We're not given the measurements, however, we know that combined they equal 90 because they are two angles that form to make that right angle. Now, supplementary angles are just like complementary, except for two angles are supplementary angles when the sum of their angles measure 180 degrees. So again, for complementary, they equal 90. Supplementary, they equal 180. That's the difference. I don't know if there's an easy way to remember which is which. One way I've always taught that you could remember, complementary comes before supplementary in the alphabet, like C comes before S, and 90 comes before 180. So the 90 goes with the C, and the 180 goes with the S. Because I guarantee you'll remember the 90 and the 180. And you'll most likely remember the word complementary and supplementary. But you'll get confused which one is which. And that's just one way of trying to remember the two. And again, the examples of supplementary angles, two angles, they don't have to be touching, although they can be. So we see one example. If we have an angle, it's 135, and the other angle is 45. If you add them together, you get 180. Therefore, those are supplementary angles. Now, the angles 3 and 4, they are two angles that combine to make a straight angle. And a straight angle is 180. Therefore, 3 and 4 are also supplementary angles. All right, this is just kind of base knowledge what we're going to be doing. So for our first example, the directions tell us, tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. And that's all you have to do, right? So for number A, we have 70 and 110. Well, if you add 70 and 110, you get 180. Therefore, these must be supplementary angles. For part B, I can see that, well, two things. Actually, I can't see that that's a right angle because it doesn't give us a defining right angle sign. But I know that 41 plus 49 equals 90. And 90 is what we have to add up to become complementary. So these are complementary angles. Now finally, if I take, for our last one, 128 and 62, I get 190. And that doesn't equal up to 180 or 90. Therefore, this would be neither. They are neither complementary nor supplementary. Pretty easy so far, right? I want you to go ahead and take a moment and answer 1, 2, and 3. Okay? You can go ahead and do that right now. All right, let's see how you did. So the directions here tell you, again, to find out if the pair of the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither. So for number 1, we have 26 plus 64. And when you add these together, they equal 90. So 90 degrees. So these are complementary. All right, and then for number 2, we have 44 plus 136, which equals 180. So these are supplementary. Finally, we have 70 plus 19, which gets us 89. So this would be neither. So far, super, super easy. Let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, example 2. Using complementary and supplementary angles. So first, we're going to tell whether the angles are complementary or supplementary, and then find the value of x, just like we did in chapter 7.1. So for A, you can tell there's a right angle sign right here. Therefore, these two make up a 90-degree angle. Therefore, these are complementary. And I know that the two angles, when you add them together, 4x plus 36, they equal 90. So I can go ahead and subtract 36 from both sides. And I get 4x equals 54. And I divide them both by 4. I get x equals 13.5. There's our first one. Then for B, that's B. I guess this one up here is A. Here's B. For B, this is a straight line, more straight than my line. This is a straight line. Still not very straight. It's fine, though. It's a straight line. Therefore, this is supplementary. So, since it's supplementary, to solve this, we're going to take x, we're going to add it to x minus 4, and this equals 180. Because supplementary angles always equal 180. So I have 2x minus 4 equals 180. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So I have 2x equals 184. Divide them both by 2, and I get x equals 92. There you go. That is how you would do these two examples. Hopefully that makes perfect sense to you. Let's go ahead and look at our last example. This example is again talking about constructing an angle. In this case, the directions say, draw a pair of adjacent supplementary angles so that one angle has a measure of 60 degrees. So this is really easy to do. What you're going to do is this. You're going to start off with making an angle that's 60 degrees, which you've learned already. Again, we're going to first make our point. Then using our straight edge on the protractor, we're going to go ahead, and we're going to extend this to a straight line. Then we're going to put the protractor over that dot, so it's right over here, and that line goes right along the bottom part of the protractor. And then we're going to look for the 60. There's a 60 right here and a 60 right here. And since we're starting at the bottom right, we're going to go up to the first 60 because that's going to be less than 90. And then we're going to go ahead and extend that line so it looks like this. And now we have 60 degrees. To finish this, since they're supplementary, means they have to make a straight line, we're going to use the protractor to go ahead and extend one of the sides that form the line. I just use the one on the bottom, it's easiest. You just are going to extend that line. And so now I have a pair of adjacent supplementary angles that one of them is 60 degrees. That's all there is to it. So for number 4 and 5, you're going to tell whether the angles are complementary or supplementary. Then find the value of x, and then you're going to go ahead and draw a pair of adjacent supplementary angles so that one angle has a measure of 15 degrees. And again, we'll check that one in class. Okay? So head back over here. You guys take a moment and do these problems. Okay, let's see how you guys did on this. So for number 4, the two of these angles are on a straight line. Therefore, these are supplementary. And since they're supplementary, we know that 4x plus 5 plus 41 must equal 180. So now it's just a matter of solving this equation. So we're going to do 4x plus 46 equals 180. Then I can subtract the 46 from both sides. Oops, that's a 44. 46 from both sides. And I get 4x equals 134. Divide both sides by 4. And I get x equals 33.5. Now, if I really want to see if this works, I just put 33 back into my equation. I say 4 times 33.5 plus 5 plus 41 and hit equal, and it should equal 180. If it does, you know your answer is correct, which I did, and it does. All right, so our next one, there's that right angle sign right there. So I know these are complementary. Okay, since these are complementary, I can do x plus 2x minus 3 equals 90. And then 2x plus x is 3x, so 3x minus 3 equals 90. Add 3 to both sides. I get 3x equals 93. Divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 31. And there you have that. And as I mentioned before, number 6 we'll do in class together. Make sure you understand that. That is pretty much it. Hopefully this makes perfect sense to you, and you have yourself a great one. We'll talk to you soon.